Hello everyone and welcome to another episode of The Jamie Hughes Show. My name as always is Jamie Hughes and today I'm going to be giving you my review of Game Night. Now if you want to keep up to date with all the latest movie news and reviews then make sure you hit that subscribe button. And as always with my videos, this review may include spoilers, so you have now been warned. What a really fun and entertaining movie Game Night is, and that is the best way I can sum up this movie, is that it is so damn entertaining. I knew I was going to go into this movie and I was going to enjoy it. I knew it was going to be fun and I knew it was going to be funny. I knew I was going to laugh, but I didn't know how much I was going to enjoy the other elements around this movie as well. It had some really great action sequences. It had a couple of touching moments in points as well. But yeah, it was a really well-rounded film and a really well-executed film. It does have its down points, and I'll get onto those in a little bit. But for the most part, and I'm probably going to mention it a million times in this review, it is really funny and it is so damn entertaining. And one of the best things about this movie is its cast and its ensemble of characters. Obviously, Rachel McAdams and Jason Bateman are brilliant. They are really the glue that holds this story together. They are the force that drives this movie forward. But for me, it was like the other couples in this movie and the other characters that really made this movie great. And first off, you had Ryan and Sarah, who were funny, but this sounds kind of a little bit contradictory, but they were the comic relief in this movie. And considering this movie is very funny anyway, having a comic relief like couple just didn't really work for me. A lot of their comedy felt very forced. They still had some very, very funny moments, but a couple of their scenes did drag a little bit and they weren't as funny as they could have been. But on the other side of that, you have Kevin and Michelle, who were by far my favourite couple in this movie. They were really, really funny. Like every scene they were in, they almost stole. And they have this really great kind of subplot that runs through this story with Kevin and Michelle, where Michelle Michelle kind of reveals to Kevin that she slept with a celebrity before they get married. And it's that journey you go on where Kevin tries to find out who this celebrity is. This kind of joke starts very early on in the film and the payoff comes about 3/4 of the way through, and trust me, it's worth going to see this movie just for that payoff. It was so funny and it really, really tickled me. I thought it was very well executed, and they also had some very funny scenes themselves based around that and also just individually. Kevin had some really great one-liners in this movie as well. But for me, my favourite character by far was Officer Gary, who's played by Jesse Plemons. He's like this really kind of sad and depressing guy who his wife has left him. His wife has left him and his life is really miserable. He's obsessed with his wife and his dog Bastian, and he was so good in this movie. He was really funny but really awkward, and I think it's a testament to Jesse Plemons of how well he played this character, because I felt awkward. It really reminded me of, you know, when you get in an awkward situation yourself, and I could feel like I was crawling, I was cringing, and I could feel the whole cinema feeling the same when he was on screen as well. Yeah, he was just really cringy and really awkward, but it was so great, and his awkwardness was really funny. It brought another layer of humour to this story. Again, just another positive is for how funny every kind of individual character was, and how funny, like, they all had their individual roles to play and they executed them really, really well. Another really cool thing about this movie is that it's a really great story. Like, it is a very, very good story, and I think, again, another thing that made me enjoy this movie so much was the twists and the turns that you got. Now, I don't want to spoil too much for you here, and I think I've may have said too much already, but there's a lot of twists in this movie that just elevated this movie to another level for me and really added to my overall enjoyment. And yeah, they're all the positives. I can't say any more other than that. It is a damn fine, entertaining movie. But it does have a couple of flaws. Well, for me anyway, it has a couple of flaws. And the first thing I wanted to talk about is that this movie does try and be serious in points, and it does kind of work in some places, but for me, where it did kind of lack is where Jason Bateman and Rachel McAdams' character are trying for a baby in this movie. It's kind of the plot that runs throughout this whole movie as well. But once this movie starts getting going, it's like you're not really that interested, but they did add a couple of scenes where, you know, they have a bit of baby talk, and when this movie is really starting to ramp up, they added a couple of those scenes in, and I did feel like it did drag the movie down a little bit. I mean, it jumped straight back into it in the very next scene, which was fine, but I just would have liked to maybe execute those scenes in a different way. But other than that, like, it's still a very enjoyable film, and that was just a personal thing for me. I'm sure most other people kind of probably enjoyed that. I'm not really sure. And then the other thing I wanted to mention, and again, this is more of a personal thing, is that there are some very funny scenes in this movie, most notably the kind of bullet removal scene. And I just felt like that scene was spoiled for me, along with a couple of other scenes, because obviously I go to the cinema quite a lot, and I've seen this trailer a lot. Like, I've seen the trailer for Game Night a lot, and it just felt like they had put most of the really laugh out loud scenes like in the trailer, so I kind of expected and kind of saw what was coming before it already happened. And I'm not saying that's a negative, I just think that maybe just strip back what you're showing the audiences in the trailer. And again, that's the personal thing. I mean, I go to the cinema probably like 4 or 5 times a week, so, you know, I do see this trailer a lot. So I think for most people this isn't an issue. It was just something I wanted to kind of just air my little grievance with. But other than that, I really enjoyed Game Night. It's, as I've said about a million times in this review, it's really funny, it's got great action sequences, and it is so damn entertaining. It was the shot in the arm we needed as we crawl out of kind of Oscar season and we move on to big summer blockbusters. The timing of this movie was perfect. I really enjoyed it, and I'd love to know what you guys thought about Game Night. As always, let me know what you thought about it down in those comments below. And if you did enjoy this video and you want to keep up to date with all the latest movie news and reviews, then make sure you hit that subscribe button, and I will see you in the very next episode of The Jamie Hughes Show. Ta-ra!